Hey guys, welcome back to the farm. We got a couple things going on today. One is that they are here with the trusses, and it's a pretty good Friday to see that going up. So we'll get a couple shots of those guys and talk to them a little bit. And the other thing we got going on is working on the skid steer. This belly pan came off the other day, so I'm going to get the trailer out, span it, or put it right next to the loading dock, span that gap with the ASV, and that'll allow me to work underneath it without having to be. It's so cramped down there. It's unbelievable. So let's roll the intro, and we'll check out those guys putting up the trusses. I think Grandpa and I were both a little skeptical when I came up with this idea, putting the trailer next to the loading dock, but I think this is even OSHA acceptable. I mean, tons of ground clearance. We got 4 different supports. It's gonna work out great. I'm happy with how this is going so far. Let's get under there and see what's going on. Okay, so we're under the ASV now, and you can see here we've got a sheared bolt, another one, another one, another one. And then this guy, he doesn't have any threads anymore. So we are going to use right angle drill this guy and see if we can't back him out with some left-handed drill bits. And then if not, we'll use one of these easy outs. So let's see what we can do. Yeah, it's gonna go. Oh, beautiful. I can almost turn that out by hand. Whew, that is a relief. If they all go like that, we're gonna have a good day. I think that's gonna need some heat. We'll come back to that one. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Got him. Don't worry about me over here. Doing good. Beautiful. Look at that. So we've got, where'd they go? Oh, right here. We got 3 of the 5 bolts out in my hand here. And these last 2 are pretty stubborn because they look like they broke off actually a while ago, and they're rusted in there. So one of the cool things I learned in engineering school was that things can't be tight if they're a liquid. So we're going to turn them into a liquid. Well, looks like I owe Jake a new easy out. That one's toast. That's what happens. This one's in there tight. I'm not really sure what the next step is. Be nice if I had a MIG welder over here. I could weld a nut to it and try and back it out that way, but I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so a little update. You guys can probably hear the generator in the background. We've run into some hiccups, both of which are my fault. So we got 3 of the 5 out, and I went to Lowe's and replaced Jake's extractor, and I got 3 more for myself, since I knew what size I needed now, and went ahead and broke off another one too. So we've got 2 bolts that were drilled for the extractors and have broken off extractors in them. So I think my next idea, I really hope this works, I've got this rail cleaned off, and I'm hoping I can get the mag drill to stick to it. There's not quite enough surface area for the magnet to sit perfect on it, but I think it'll go, I hope. And then what I'm thinking is we got these annular cutters that go with it. Get out of the shot. These annular cutters, and they've got a hole in the center, and I'm hoping that hole in the center goes around the extractor so it's not cutting into it. And I think it's going to work, because if we look here, this is the same one that I got broken off in there. The bit actually fits up inside there quite a ways. So as long as I get it center on that and center on the hole, it should be in pretty good shape. Maybe that's just wishful thinking, but that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. So we'll go ahead. These were 3/8 holes or bolts originally. We'll drill this out to 7/16, and then we'll end up putting a 1/2-inch bolt in the frame. So I think it's going to work good as long as that magnet's got good contact. I'm going to clean this off a little bit better, but I guess we'll see. That is doing exactly what I want it to. Oh, God damn it! This is a new level of disappointment. The cutter broke, so that's good. It was going really good, it really was. I mean, I don't think I was taking it really that fast. It was doing exactly what I wanted it to. I can show you guys. It was going right around that easy out. Man, it was cutting right around that easy out. It's hard to see, but man, I just can't believe that. Cannot believe that. I kind of can, but I don't really want to. Okay, so we changed plans a little bit after that cutter broke. Went ahead and we stepped up to a 11/16 cutter. You see, I just did 1 hole. Bumped up to the 11/16, so that way it completely cleared that leftover easy out. It went all the way around there without ever interfering with it, so it wouldn't break. That's what happened on the last one, was that that 7/16 cutter got a hold of that easy out, and it did not like that at all. So went ahead, drilled that out, and the punch on that cutter punched out the hole. So now what we're dealing with is a pretty big hole, but our plan, where'd it go? Right here. Our plan is to take a 3/8 nut with a flange on it and stick it up in that hole. You guys see that? Hold it up in that hole, you can see it there, and tack it all the way around, and that will be our fix. It's not perfect, but at this point, I think that's our best bet. And we're going to do the same thing for the other front hole that I told you guys had no threads anymore, and we're also going to do it to this middle hole. So let's keep doing that. know if you guys could hear that or not, but if you heard that little tink, that was that spring inside that cutter. I told you guys earlier the cutters are hollow. You guys can see that. There's a hole inside that cutter, and inside that cutter is it's almost like a center punch, and it centers you up in your hole. In case you were wondering how you could center up a bit that's flat, it's got a little center punch that comes out that hole. That's where your coolant comes when you run coolant, and it applies pressure, constant pressure on what you're trying to cut out. So as soon as it gives way, that spring, that center punch will kick out and push out whatever you're cutting, and that's what it did here. Here's our hole. Did a pretty good job. Left a nice lip in there. Enough space for our bolt now, or our nut. Put our nut in like that on a bolt, so that way the threads in the nut don't get distorted, and we can hold it away so I can get in there with a stick welder and weld it. So I think we're set up pretty good now. We got Grandpa coming. He's gonna help me lift this plate up there because it's damn near impossible to get on by yourself, especially having to lift it up this high. So that's the plan here. Okay, hold that thought. Okay. Relax for a second. Woo.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I'll say. And don't go moving it around a whole bunch because it's not hanging on by much.
No. Hello. There's my
He was laying on a rock the whole time. Okay, this went really well. And no, I did not work on this all day. I'll show you what I was working on earlier. In between doing this, I had to sweep a bin for, I guess it was about an hour or so, hour and a half. And we had a bearing go out on a sweep auger. And it wasn't like a ball bearing. It was one of those ones where it was two pieces of plastic that sit over the shaft. So ran down to our local John Deere dealership and rummaged around through their parts section and found a Deere bearing off of the combine, and then made a bracket for that. I'll show you guys that here in a minute. So that took about an hour or so to do that. So I was MIA for a couple hours on this project and just got back to it. So far we are in business big time. This is good. This is really good. And now, if we ever have a problem in the future with these, it's as easy as cutting that nut back off and welding a new one in. So here's what I was telling you guys about earlier. I don't have the old one. I don't know where that one went. But this bracket that I made was a lot lighter, obviously from the factory or from the sweep company. So I made it out of something that was twice as thick, and then this will bolt to the sweep, and then I got a Deere bearing that'll bolt on like that. So I have your shaft over here with your auger running through, and this is where the two augers are spliced. So that should work pretty good. I'm happy with how that turned out. That's why I was kind of missing in action here. So I've also got another ASV to work on the belly pan. So I'm not going to bore you guys with that. You guys have seen enough of me today. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.